7 redirects and how they're going to support the transition from SIMS 7 to SIMS Next Gen. And we'll cover what the directs are, how they work, timelines, and what you need to do. Just a bit of housekeeping as normal. So we're using the chat facility, and cameras and microphones have been disabled. But if you do want to ask me a question, please do raise your hand and I'll unmute or use the chat facility. So SIMS 7 redirects are part of the wider migration to SIMS Next Gen. They've been introduced by Parent Pay, PPG, to allow a controlled, phased migration and transition. Schools can decide which areas and when, so it's not all at once. Some modules have fixed dates, others are within your control. And once a redirect is enabled, users won't go in SIMS 7 anymore for that area. Instead, when they click on that route, they'll be taken directly to SIMS Next Gen. The key message here is about moving users gradually without disrupting the whole school system in one big bag move. So this is the table showing the key modules and their rollout stages. So each module has a 2-stage approach. So the stage 2 is the date that they're going to start. So the system will automatically migrate. But you have up until the 6th of July, which is the permanent date, stage 3, an example for the pupil timetable that I'm highlighting there. So you have up until the 6th of July to reverse that or plan a more phased migration. But you can see there, the attendance is the next one. So that's starting next week on 22nd of June, which you probably noticed that it has been migrated. And when we say attendance, we're just talking class register, nothing else, not the attendance module itself where you edit marks. This is just the class register where your teachers take the register. And that date, you have up until the 28th of September before it gets permanently turned off. And you can see they move down to conduct, detentions, exclusions and suspensions, and positive and negative, and report cards all have the same date, 13th of July it starts. You have up until October. And then we have custom groups, 13th of July that will start until the 26th of October where it's permanent. And then we have 3 others there listed that have yet to have dates confirmed. But we have started, we've already had schools call us about this, that they have noticed that when they click on the pupil timetable in a pupil record, it takes them out to SIMS Next Gen, as it has already started. So that may be the same for your school. It's important to note, actually, SIMS 7 areas map to multiple modules in SIMS Next Gen. So what used to be a single area may be split across different functions. So the idea and the approach is to plan ahead and have the migration at your timeline and at your leisure. And you have this time range to be able to do that. Few important things, staff must be fully onboarded or have actually an active SIMS Next Gen or SIMS ID logon before you start using the redirects. The redirects is actually at a global or school level, not an individual user level or permission group level. It's for all school users. And then you really do need to be SIMS administrator or best system manager to be able to manage the SIMS 7 redirects. So again, preparation and permissions are critical before you start switching anything on or plan to switch things on. So there are 4 different migration status of redirects. And you can see there that timeline pulls up. And this is the screenshot of the SIMS Next Gen that I have. But you can see there, we've got 4 stages planned, which has been enabled for a date in the future. Migrated, it's already active. Reversing, where it's been migrated by the system, but you have up until the permanent date to reverse that if your school's not ready. And then, of course, permanent, it has been migrated permanently and you can't change it. So that would be that stage 3 date. Okay, now I'm going to move into the live demonstration of SIMS Next Gen. I'll show you what it looks like, how the redirects are in place, and what staff will see when that redirect is on. Oops, I'll just wait for this page to load. Just going to share my screen again. And there we go. Right, so you should be seeing our SIMS Next Gen, so the dummy database. I'm in primary, but it doesn't matter what database you're using, what phase, the process is exactly the same. So we access our redirects under this hamburger icon at the top, down to admin console. And then when that loads, SIMS 7 Direct is sitting at the bottom here. Okay, so what we see in front of us is a table of the categories, the equivalent next gen module, the SIMS 7 module, who was modified by, the effective date, and the status. Now you can filter if you want to, although I think the screen's big enough to be able to see everything in one place at the moment. But you do have the ability to filter on the different status here, or search for the category here. So the category is the functional area that the module belongs to. Then we have the SIMS 7 module, the legacy. The next gen is the equivalent, as I went through, modified, effective date, and the status here. If a category is not present in SIMS Next Gen, then the equivalent module has not been released. If a SIMS 7 module is not present in the later, it's not yet part of the SIMS Next module, SIMS Next Gen module. And if we hover over the SIMS 7 module, it will let us know what information or where or what is being redirected. So, for example, it is in this column here, SIMS 7 column, it's just detention, exclusions, and timetable at the front. But if we look at my timeline for attendance category, it's got a +5. If I hover, it will tell me what areas in SIMS 7 will be redirected. Now, currently on attendance, I mentioned earlier, it is only taking register, but eventually that will increase the module, and all those other icons and routes will redirect into SIMS 7, SIMS Next Gen, sorry. Again, hover over student behaviour. It will say student maintain achievements, behaviour instance, student teacher view. And again, likewise with student details, if I just hover on the plus, it says the student details and the home page icon. So over here on the status, you can see I've got those that have migrated for the first 3: conduct and curriculum management. And then we see I've got one for attendance, and that's planned here. And we can manage all of these up until the stage 3 date, where it's a permanent migration and you can't do it. But should something have been migrated and you didn't want it to yet, the school wasn't ready, you can click on the little 3 buttons here. If we go to view for its first step, we have a look at it, you can see that it's the next gen module, is exclusions and suspensions. That's the module in SIMS 7. It is redirecting and has been modified. But if I want to edit that, I can reverse the process. It will take about 24 hours. So if a mistake has been made, it's already gone. It won't be an immediate reversal, but you can reverse it. So all you do simply is click on no and then save. Oh, now this is a new field. So you could put in school not ready and then save. So that means that that will then save. I close that down. It's reversing. You can see the conduct exclusion to suspension is now in a state of reversing. However, if you want to plan ahead, it doesn't have to be an overnight migration. You can plan ahead for this. So if I look at the attendance, you can see that it's planned. Again, if I click on the three dots and go to the edit button this time, you can see that it's planned for next, I think that's next Wednesday. It is the 24th. So that means then that will happen overnight and it will be available on that day. So if you wanted to plan something, so if I go ahead, so looking at this conduct here for positive and negative, click on the three dots, click on edit. And then if I say yes to the redirect, and if I say I want this to happen, so maybe on the 30th of June, save that. You can see the changes have been saved and that now has come in and now is planned. So now I've got 2 planned migrations here. So that's simply how we do it. Again, it's not a difficult process. You do need to have the right permissions. And again, you can see the status here and make any changes. And this helps your school roll out those certain areas, like with a phased approach, getting everybody on board of how that's going to happen in SIMS 7. Now, it doesn't mean that the module has completely disappeared within SIMS 7. It's still there. It just means that the route taken will change as soon as you click on that actual route. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop into SIMS 7 as we know it. So hopefully you can see SIMS 7. Let's just come back to the home page. So one of the, and actually what I might do is split my screen. I don't know if this is going to be easy to see. So let's see if you can see both of those there. Okay. You can see I've got my SIMS Next Gen on the right and SIMS 7 on the left-hand side. Just to show you that, for example, the curriculum management, which is the pupil timetable in SIMS Next Gen, that refers to the pupil timetable, so the link for pupil timetable in the pupil record. So if I pop into a pupil here, there we go, we're in Jessica Abbott. I hope you can see that on the left. And on the left-hand side, I've got the links, and it's the timetable link here. So you can see me, I click on that. You can see immediately on the left-hand side that it's opening up SIMS Next Gen. And then it doesn't take me to the actual record at the moment, but there it is there, Jessica Abbott. And that will open up her timeline for any AM and PM registers or class lessons for secondary school. So I'm just going to close that down. And then open that screen back up again. Just let that load. I closed that down accidentally. I do apologise. There we go. So if I just, while that SIMS Connected is loading, so the other area I'll look at is the conduct area, those that have migrated. So back into SIMS Connected. So the other area is the exclusions area. So if I go to focus pupil and go to exclusions, you can see there that it's opening up onto SIMS Next Gen. And that will take me to the suspensions and exclusions area. There we go. And where we can then add the suspension or exclusion. Back into SIMS 7. And the other one is behavior. So again, we've got focus and we've got behavior management here. And those will take you across. I don't think that's migrated yet. No, it has. There we go. So that will take me across to the equivalent detention area. There we go. There's the detentions, and then I can add the detentions in Next Gen. So that's what we mean by the redirecting. As we go into SIMS Connected and go into those certain areas, it will then open up into SIMS Next Gen relevant location. So that's our redirects. Please do have a look at it. If you don't have those permissions, check with your system manager that you do have access. If not, ask to give you access. If you don't see admin console, that's also permission based as well. Please give us a call, drop us a line. But hopefully I've able to explain the SIMS 7 directs and how that works in SIMS Next Gen, and how you be able to have a phased approach and plan this with your school to roll this out for teachers and other members of staff. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day.